In the 9th century, a group of Chinese monks tried to invent a potion for eternal life. Instead, they accidentally created the deadliest weapon in human history. They were Taoist alchemists, mixing saltpeter, charcoal, and sulfur. They weren't trying to conquer the world, they just wanted immortality. But instead of granting eternal life, the mixture simply exploded, singeing their eyebrows and burning down their workshops. They called it fire medicine. And for generations, ordinary people just used it for fireworks and festival entertainment. Exactly what you'd expect from monks chasing enlightenment. But that changed when military commanders during the Song dynasty realized this volatile powder could do more than look pretty. They took a length of bamboo, strapped it to a spear, and packed it with gunpowder. They called it the fire lance. During close combat, it spewed flame and burning debris directly into the faces of their enemies. The psychological effect was terrifying, but the real breakthrough happened when they started stuffing pellets and shards of pottery into the bamboo alongside the powder. This was the conceptual leap that changed warfare forever. It wasn't just about fire anymore. It was about using expanding gas to fling projectiles with lethal force. There was just one problem. Bamboo tends to explode in your hands when the pressure gets too high. So, Chinese craftsmen began casting bronze tubes strong enough to contain the blast. The hand cannon was born. It was heavy, primitive, and wildly inaccurate, but it could launch a solid projectile with enough force to shatter armor. When the Mongols invaded China in the 1200s, they encountered these terrifying weapons firsthand, and rather than just retreating, they absorbed the technology. As the Mongol Empire expanded westward, they functioned as an accidental delivery system, spreading gunpowder across Eurasia faster than any trade caravan ever could. By the late 13th century, gunpowder reached Europe, and it landed in a landscape dominated by stone castles and heavily armored knights. The early European hand cannons were basically small pipes on sticks. You had to hold the heavy weapon with one hand and touch a smoldering ember to a tiny hole with the other, hoping the projectile went somewhere useful. Despite being clumsy, these weapons made traditional armor completely obsolete. A relatively cheap hand cannon could take down a knight who had spent his entire life and fortune training for combat. The next massive leap was the matchlock mechanism in the late 15th century. Instead of manually applying a burning stick, the matchlock used a mechanical trigger to lower a burning cord into the gunpowder. This meant a soldier could finally hold the weapon with both hands and actually aim it. It was the first mechanical firing device ever applied to a small arm. But matchlocks still required an open flame, which was nearly useless in the rain and gave away your position in the dark. The true breakthrough came around 1610 with the flintlock. It used a spring-loaded hammer holding a piece of flint to strike steel, generating sparks directly into the powder. No burning cords, no open flames. It was faster, weather-resistant, and incredibly reliable. The flintlock's arrival coincided with the socket bayonet, a blade that attached around the outside of the barrel. A soldier could now fire and fight in close combat without needing a dedicated pikeman for protection. The flintlock became the undisputed king of the battlefield for roughly 2 centuries. Looking back, nobody set out to invent the firearm. It was an 800-year chain reaction of accidents, incremental tweaks, and global migration. The gun that ended the age of knights and castles began as a simple mistake, made by people who were just trying to live forever. If you found this historical explosive fascinating, drop a like and subscribe to Ancient Origins for more stories that shape our world. Thanks for watching.